Hello and welcome to Topic 9. Today we're looking at the top 9 shortstops of all time ranked by career WAR. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Starting us off at 9 with a career WAR of 71.3 is Derek Jeter. Jeter would have ranked much more high if I was ranked by personal opinion due to his numerous championships, but in terms of just ranking based off of WAR, he falls to 9th. A first-time All-Star and 5-time champion, Jeter played his whole career with the New York Yankees after they drafted him 6th overall in the 1992 MLB draft. Despite winning 5 Gold Gloves, Jeter put up a negative 9.8 career defensive WAR, showing he was not as good defender as many thought at the time. Thus hurting his all-time WAR ranking. But if you watched him play and see him do the flip or his iconic jump throw or even diving into the stands after a foul ball, when he needed to make a big play, he always did. In a 20-year career, the captain had 3,465 hits, which is 6th all-time, a 310 batting average, 5 Gold Gloves, and 8 top 10 MVP finishes, and had his number 2 retired by the New York Yankees. Fourth place with a career WAR of 75.3 is Bill Dahlen, who is one of 3 players on this list that played pre-1900. In a 19-year career from 1891 to 1909, Bill put up a staggering 28.5 defensive WAR, which is 12th all-time, and is the major factor why he is so high on this list. Despite being a 272 hitter for his career, he did bat above 350 in a season in 1894 and 1896. They show he was more than just a great fielder of his time. Also, due to him playing 19 seasons, he racked up 2,461 hits, and his 110 OPS plus shows he was an above average hitter for his career. Being an elite fielder and above average hitter over 19 seasons will make you end up in 8th place in career shortstop wins above replacement. Next, we go from one of the best defensive players ever to the best ever in Ozzie Smith with 76.9 WAR. An athletic freak of nature who would do backflips on field for fun, Smith was the best fielder at the most important defensive position on the field. Smith won 13 Gold Gloves in a row from 1980 to 1992 for the St. Louis Cardinals, helping them win the 1982 World Series and making another, all while being a remarkable star of baseball during the decade. His 13 Gold Gloves are the most all-time by a shortstop, and tied for second most by position player, behind only Brooks Robinson's 16 he won at third base. Ozzie's 44.2 career defensive WAR is the most ever, and nearly 5 higher than second and third place Brooks Robinson and Mark Bellinger. Ozzie Smith was not seen as his offensive threat, which is true based off his 87 OPS plus, but due to his longevity, he still had 2,460 hits and a 262 batting average, all while having 580 stolen bases and being top 10 in stolen bases in 7 separate seasons. Next up is 6 is 2-time MVP Robin Yount with 77.4 WAR. Yount played his whole career for the Milwaukee Brewers, helping lead them to their only World Series appearance in franchise history, where they lost the 1982 World Series title to prior entry Ozzie Smith and the St. Louis Cardinals. Robin Yount's first MVP season was in 1982, and it was historic due to him putting up 10.5 WAR that season by hitting 29 homers, 331 at batting average, and leading the league in doubles, hits, and winning the Gold Glove at shortstop that season. For comparison, Judge's 62 homer year in 2002 was only 10.4 WAR. Yount played all 20 seasons for Milwaukee, accumulating 3,142 hits, despite having an up-and-down career, with his 6 good seasons being truly elite. Yount only made 3 All-Star teams despite 2 MVPs. The fifth spot is Hall of Famer for the Chicago White Sox, Luke Appling with 77.5 WAR. Playing from 1930 to 1950, Luke played his whole career for the Chicago White Sox, where he would be 7-time All-Star and 3-time batting champ for them. Appling was one of the best contact hitters through World War II, with a 310 batting average for his career and 2,749 hits. Not much of a power hitter with only 45 homers, Appling got on base as much as anyone and had a .399 on-base percentage, all while playing good defense. The White Sox unfortunately couldn't put a good team around their star as they never made the playoffs once with him and had only a winning season 3 times in his career. Still, Appling is the greatest White Sox shortstop and have his number 4 retired by them. Fourth place is the shortest career on this list with only 14 seasons played is Arky Vaughan. Playing from 1932 to 1948, he missed 3 seasons of his prime due to walking away from the game due to his argument with his manager, and in his 2 returning seasons, it wasn't the same. His 12 seasons before leaving from 1932 to 1943, Arky was top 10 in WAR 9 of those years, seemingly finishing top 10 in every category during each of those years. 8 of those seasons he had a WAR above 5.7, including 3 seasons above 8 WAR. He was top 10 in batting average 9 of those seasons. He led the league in triples 3 times and led the league in walks 3 times as well. Unfortunately, he played for the Pirates, who never made the postseason despite his talents. His 75.9 WAR in his first 12 seasons were 24th all-time and makes you think where he could have been all-time on the all-time list if he didn't walk away from the game at age 31 during his prime. But despite his short career, he is still 4th in all-time shortstop WAR with 77.9 in total. Third spot is taken up by Hall of Famer George Davis, who put up 84.5 WAR from 1890 to 1909. From 1883 to 1891, he put up a batting average of .332 during those 8 seasons, all while playing great defensively during that time, finishing top 10 in defensive WAR 11 different seasons. A Hall of Famer, Davis was a true 5-tool player of his time, with him having 619 career stolen bases, finishing top 10 in homers 3 times to go along with his batting average and defense over 20 seasons. He just missed out on being top 15 career WAR and had 2,665 hits. He'd be one of the best players at the turn of the century, helping the White Sox win the 1906 World Series title after playing mainly with the New York Giants for his career. Second in all-time shortstop WAR is Cal Ripken Jr., the Iron Man who played over 2,000 straight games and had 95.3 career WAR. A 2-time MVP, Ripken was the face of the Orioles in the 80s and 90s, making the All-Star team 19 straight years. On top of being an elite hitter, Ripken put up the 4th most defensive WAR all-time, winning multiple Gold Gloves. So beloved in Baltimore, when the 1994 strike happened, the Orioles owner was the only one who refused to play with replacement players due to knowing Ripken would lose the streak if they played with replacement players. On top of playing the most career games as shortstop all-time, he has 431 homers, most all-time at the shortstop position, and 3,184 hits, and a World Series title, as the Iron Man is the greatest Baltimore Oriole of all time, with his number 8 retired as their franchise leader in hits, doubles, RBIs, and homers. The number 1 shortstop all time is Honus Wagner, who is an 8-time batting champ and a player on the most valuable baseball card ever. His 131 career WAR is 35 more than Ripken and is 10th all-time in MLB history in WAR. Wagner over 21 seasons is top 10 in numerous categories all-time other than WAR, such as hits, doubles, triples, and stolen bases. The 8-time batting champ had a career through 28 batting average over 21 seasons, leading the league in doubles 7 times as well, playing from 1897 to 1917. With 1917 being his last season, 1918 being Ruth's first season, best hitter in baseball was passed from one to another as soon as Wagner retired. In 12 separate seasons, Wagner put up a WAR above 6. In an additional 6 of those seasons, he had a WAR above 8.3, which is above MVP levels. In 1908 season, he put up a monstrous 11.5 WAR, which is tied for the 10th most valuable season in single season history. 11.5 WAR in a single season was a better season than Mays, Musial, Mantle, or Tykov ever had. In total, Wagner had over 3,420 hits, a World Series ring, 643 doubles, a 328 batting average, and 8 batting titles, become the best shortstop of all time.